I just want to show y'all right quick that I've ironed the interfacing onto all of my pieces. It's hard to tell on these white pieces, but there is interfacing on every piece. And so now we need to take our first steps to constructing our bag. And the first thing we're going to do, this is going to be one strap. I'm going to fold down about 1/2 inch and press this all the way down. Okay, and then I'm going to flip the other side and do the same thing. Okay, so you see what I have here. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the other strap. Now that we've got these pressed, what we want to do is turn them with the wrong sides facing together. And hopefully I've folded them even enough that they will line up without looking messy. And we're going to pin in the middle, right in the middle. We don't want to pin on the sides. It's just... So now that we have this pin, we're going to take it over to the machine and sew right along the edge of each side. So you can see there I've sewn down each side, just putting the strap together, and it makes a nice sturdy strap. I like doing it this way even better than, you know, you can take two pieces, sew them right sides facing together and turn them and then sew down the sides. But for some reason this just feels so much sturdier than if you did that. I'm going to prepare these end pieces for that are going to attach the strap, kind of cover up the ends of the strap on the ends of the bag. What I want to do first is, let's see, I'm going to fold over about 1/2 inch. And then fold over about 1/2 inch. And then we want to take one end. I'm thinking I kind of might have overthought this piece because this seems like a lot of material. Because basically all I want to do with this piece is cover up the raw ends of the strap where I'm going to attach it to the side of the bag. And we really just need like a little square piece like this. What I'm going to do, and I'm not going to fold over the other end because it's just going to be too thick. What I'm going to do is like this. So our next step, what we want to do is put the outside of the bag together with right sides facing together. And what I'm going to do is go over to the machine and I'm going to sew down this side, across here, and I'm going to create my gussets. Alright y'all, I've got the outside of my bag ready, and if you want to know how to do these bottom sides of the bag, I'll have a separate video up for that, and there'll be a link right about here in the video that you can click on and see how to do these corners of the bag. So now what we need to do is on the side, the ends of our bag, you know, we've got our little corner here, we got our top up here, is we want to measure down about, let's do about 2 1/4 inches. That should be plenty. And you're going to mark that. You really kind of want to do it in the middle so that you know you're at the right place. And just mark across that seam line going this way. We're going to turn it over and hopefully do the same thing on the other side. I think what I want to do is I'm going to bend this over and find that chalk mark, and I'm going to mark it right here so that each strap is even. Now, The next thing I want to do, now what we're going to do is, you don't want to put your strap all the way down in there. I kind of cut these straps short. I don't know, let's try it that way. You're going to fold this over, covering that raw edge of that back one. And I did it that way because I felt like it would be too thick for the bag. So you're going to kind of center it on the sides. And God, let's hope this works. Finding the top, my chalk line is right up under the top of this little square. I'm going to center it. And if you can, I don't know, this is kind of thick, but if you can at all, if it's at all possible, pin it just to keep it in place until you get over to the machine. And then you need to take that pin out, obviously, because if you don't, it's going to cause an issue. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew a box on this. I'm just going to kind of find that chalk. I'm going to sew a square, and then I'm going to sew an X in the middle, and it gives it a pretty look, and it holds that strap in place. So if you have a machine like mine, I'll just say right quick, and you can set the speed and all that, you want to set this on a heavy duty fabric because it is a lot of layers in here, and you want to set it on a looser tension, a slightly looser tension, and medium to low speed so that you can take your time and you don't hurt yourself doing this. And I would say about a 3 to a 4.0 stitch length. So I'm going to do that with both straps. I got my handle sewed on here, and let me tell you right away, use a walking foot and take your time, because this part is tricky. But yeah, well, see, some of that's hanging over on mine. But there we go. That is the outside of our bag, and we can set this aside for now, and we're going to start preparing the inside lining with the recessed zipper. Okay, so now we are going to get our zipper casing ready. We're going to take these pieces that we have for the zipper casing, and you can't see it, I know, because I have white interfacing and white fabric. I should have, chose a darker fabric to show you guys, but I was actually thinking the dark thread would be hard to see on the dark fabric and you wouldn't know where I was sewing. So anyway, this is the side with the interfacing on it. And I'm going to take each end and fold over about a 1/2 inch. And press them real good. I'm just kind of eyeballing this and making sure that these, I'm doing right side of the fabric facing the upside of the zipper, which would be the side with the zipper pull on it. And I'm actually going to do this on both sides, so I mean really it's, it's up to you where you start. I'm going to line the edges up and pin this. So I got my zipper foot on. I want to make sure this little piece is turned down, that I'm sewing it over. And I have my stitch length set on 2.5. My machine is on medium speed, and it's on lightweight fabric. And here we go. Okay, so I've got that first piece sewn on, and I want to sew another matching piece on the back of the same side. So with the right side facing the bottom of the zipper, I'm going to line up these ends, and I'm going to sew over this top one that I just did because I want the lines to match up. I know you can't see that seam, but I want to sew exactly the same seam on the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pin it See, I'm pinning that to that, and I'm going to sew right over it. You just want to make sure when you get to these turned ends that it doesn't come out, and then you got to undo it and fix it. Okay, so we've got the one side of the zipper casing sewn, and what we want to do is to flatten everything out, and we just want to press this top carefully without getting on those zipper teeth. Want to pull this down and press the edge. Of both sides. I'm going to go ahead and take this over to the machine, and I'm going to sew a stitch all along these three sides. You don't need to do it on this open side, but you just want to sew this down and sew that down. And I would do that from the top of the zipper in case your stitch is a little off. It'll be on the back and it won't really show. So I'm going to do that. And then what I'm going to do is attach the other side of the zipper to this side and do the same thing. And once I've done that, I'll be back to show you the next step. Okay, this is my finished zipper case, and it really should look a lot smoother and lay a lot flatter, but that's okay. I think I just pulled it a little too much when I was running it through there. The next thing we want to do is close up the ends of the zipper, and I'm going to cut this tail off right at this little middle piece that's right here, because I don't want to sew over that. We're going to bring our zipper pull right down here somewhere, and I'm going to also cut these little pieces off. Now we've got these two pieces, and I probably over measured a lot of this stuff, but that's not a bad thing. I mean, you don't want to have too little. We're just going to see what this looks like once I've got it. I'm doing about 1/3 of an inch, I guess. I fold over and pressing. Now what I want to do is fold up one end. Yeah, this is going to be way more than I need, so I want to figure I want to fold it about to there to make my little zipper thing. Yeah, I'm going to need some to fold over too, because I wasn't thinking about that. It's going on the zipper, so once you got it to the length you want it, take this in and do the same thing. And then you want to lay the zipper in there. And then see, we've got a casing to hold that zipper. You just want to make sure that you got enough of the zipper in there that it's going to hold it in place too. So what I'm going to do is go over to the machine and just sew a square around this, and I'm going to do the same thing with the other end, and then we'll start putting the lining of the bag together. Okay, this is what your zipper ends will look like when you've got the fabric sewn over them. And our next step is to construct the lining. And since this is a dropped or a recessed zipper, there's a little bit of a trick to it. Now, you want the part with the zipper pull facing the top up on the top of the bag, and you want to take one of the bands. This is right sides together. I'm sorry, again, I apologize for using white fabric because you can't see the white interfacing, but this is the interfacing side, this is the fabric side. I'm turning the fabric side facing the top side of the zipper with the zipper pull, and this is the fabric side of the bag. So with the banded piece and the bag, the right side should be facing together, the zipper pull should be facing up. I'm going to go over to the machine and sew across here, making sure that the zipper part is attached to the bag and the band. And I'm going to do that on both sides. And okay, y'all, I got slightly ahead of myself because the explanation I gave you won't work unless I tell you this part. The zipper's going to now be attached to one side. And then what you want to do is flip this side down, and you've still got the right side of the zipper here. So we're going to have see right here, you really just want to line up the bag. Make sure that is out of the way, that top part. Everything's lined up. I'm going to go over to the machine and sew this side to it, and then it will all be connected with the zipper in the middle. So I'm going to do that. So once we have the zipper in the lining of our bag, this is what it should look like. These are right sides of the fabric. This is the right side. See, this part will be on the inside and this part with the zipper on the outside. Now what we need to do is put this bag together, but you're going to have to make sure that your zipper's out of the way of the seam allowance. And I kind of wanted to get these, this is really thick right here, so I think what I want to do is open this up, and I'm going to take, well, maybe not even open it up. I think I'm going to take this over to the machine, and you're going to have to work from underneath the zipper. I'm going to sew that seam allowance down, facing down the bottom of the bag. Okay, so now you see this is underneath the bag, and these are the right sides of the fabric that are going to be the inside of the lining. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go over to the machine, and I'm going to sew the sides of here, and I'm going to skip over. Well, I don't really even need to skip over. I just want to make sure that I don't get the zipper in there. And I'm going to sew these sides, and I'm going to sew the bottom of the bag, but I'm going to leave an opening here for turning, because I just want to do it that way with this bag, because there's so much going on up here that I don't want to leave an opening in the side and try and turn it that way. Okay, y'all, I've got my bag, the lining of the bag. This is the wrong side that you're seeing here. And here is the hole that I left in it for turning. Probably didn't leave it wide enough, but I can open it up a little bit if I have to. Now what I want to do is open up the zipper, and this might just be the trickiest part of all. Right sides together. This is the right side of the outside of the bag, and the inside of the bag is the right side, so the zipper should be facing up if you put it on there right. Put it down in the lining of the bag, and as best you can. I like to always start on the sides, because once you've matched up those sides, everything else should match up pretty well. I probably should pin on the outside. I'm going to pin the seams open on each side. See, that zipper, it kind of wants to get in the way there, and it's going to be a little tricky with this part. But I think taking time and just doing it at a good pace, it'll work out. So since I've got the sides together, what I'm going to do is take this over to the machine, and I'm going to sew all around the top of this opening. Alright, I've got the top sewn all the way around on this bag. And boy, what a tricky mess that is to do. Now I'm going to see if I can pull the bag through this opening here. Now we need to fold down this zipper casing. So once we've got everything in there like we want it, we just want to press this down real good. And I would go over with a top stitch, and you can slip stitch the hole in the bottom of the bag. And everything fit together pretty nice. I would also suggest putting a piece inside to keep that bottom of that bag nice and sturdy. So that's it. That is a bag with the handle, one handle on the ends. And peace, y'all. Bye-bye.